I said in the meantime of waiting for UFC 309, I'd be coming out with some videos. What I want to talk about today is Ilia Topuria, how I think you can beat him, how future opponents he might be facing could beat him. And those potential future opponents would be Alexander Volkanovski, Diego Lopez, and Islam Makhachev. We'll first talk about the Volk fight because it seems we're going to do that one next. So Volk, this is going to be the toughest one for him. He's already lost to Ilia. It was a pretty brutal KO after only a 4-month layoff when he got knocked out in the last fight, so that's not good. But for this next fight, he's going to have some more time off. And the strategy he should use, well, I don't know if he has much chance of finishing Ilia, so I think his game plan would be more oriented like the last one, being perfect, beating Ilia by decision. Things Volk did in his last fight, it was grabbing underhooks in the clinch when Ilia would come in. I would shut down Ilia's in the pocket, boxing, and a lot of kicks he used, which was working well for him. He didn't really use the outside leg kicks much. I think those would be a lot more effective. There's a lot of risk in that, but what do you have to lose now? You have to get this belt back, and you got to take risks. So Volk, he's going to have to kick a lot with his rear leg too. He's going to have to use the clinch more and keep the fight in the center because it wasn't so good the last time he got backed up to the fence. I don't really want to underestimate Volk, but I don't think his chances of winning this fight are very high. Maybe like a 15%, I'd say. It's just because lack of momentum now. I don't know if the last fight is good for his confidence, especially against the same guy. Now we're going to talk about Diego Lopez, another potential matchup. If they do the fight in Spain, they bring Ilia there, then I think Diego Lopez would be a good idea. Now, a way of beating Ilia Topuria that isn't discussed as much, beating him by decision, saying you have to be perfect for 5 rounds, but I think another way to beat him is by knocking him out in the first round. If anyone could sit down on a shot and knock out Ilia, it would probably be Lopez. So this doesn't really require a specific game plan. It's just in the first round, he's got to come out. I think maybe you should try and lure Ilia in, maybe with a jab. Then that's when Ilia starts coming in. And then I think, boom, Diego Lopez should fire a shot at him and get Ilia out of there if he can. I'm pretty sure that would be his only chance of winning the fight, but, it's possible. I'd say maybe 30% for Diego Lopez. And Islam Makhachev, well, I think he's got a pretty good chance of beating Ilia, but this one's going to have to be really game plan oriented, unlike Lopez. Topuria is a good wrestler, but is he as good as Makhachev? I think Makhachev holds an advantage over Ilia in wrestling, and I think he can use this to win the fight. We never see Ilia pressured, and if Makhachev brings us wrestling pressure, then that could be a weapon that would be really good against Ilia. If the fight hits him, I don't think Islam can finish Ilia by submission, but, he holds an advantage there, but I think Ilia could probably work his way up to the feet. Now, striking is pretty interesting because that's where Ilia's chances of finishing the fight is. And I think he's very much capable of knocking out Islam Makhachev. But Islam, as a southpaw, he brings some new things to the table. I think his kicks will be a good weapon. That southpaw, high kick, body kick. He has pretty good hands, but he's going to have to maybe avoid that a little with Ilia. I think in striking, Islam can hold his own not to get knocked out and then get the wrestling going. So I will give him a 55% chance of winning that fight and use a game plan that no one else has used against him. And here's a little bonus at the end. Yair Rodriguez. I'm talking about this fight because on the feet, I think Yair actually does have a chance. He could get caught by Ilia, but I think, if he maintains his distance, uses those kicks, wild stuff, then he can potentially beat Ilia. But his takedown defense, not that good, so I think Ilia would probably sub him. Maybe he catches him, but that's what I have to say about Yair Rodriguez. I just wanted to bring it up because it's a pretty fun idea. So yeah, that's my video on Ilia Topuria. I really only think one guy has an advantage over him, but he can still very well win that fight. So this guy's gonna be tough to beat, but that's my video for today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.